Hey there guys, this is GT5Man21 and today I am going to be giving you a preview of this week's Australian Grand Prix for the brand new Formula 1 season. It is finally here. We get to see which teams have benefited from the new rule changes, and it's a very big rule change indeed, with the new V6 turbos, new front wings, new earth systems, new rear wings, new everything really. It's a new experience for the drivers, and they've got to compete with 58 laps of action this weekend. So let's kick things off then with what we've seen in practice so far. Now, my plan is to, when I do the previews, is to do it after the first two practice sessions. So from what we've seen, Mercedes are yet again proving that their pace from the testing was not a fluke, and they still have the raw pace and look like the favourites to win the title. So they still on pace. Fernando Alonso on pace. Williams showing as well that it was not a fluke, as they are on pace. Surprisingly though, Red Bull have some decent pace, but whether that is because the rest of the teams were not pushing remains to be seen tomorrow. But really, have Red Bull improved their reliability? Well, I'm not so sure at the moment, because in practice 1, Sebastian Vettel only managed 20 laps, and his teammate, I believe, 26 laps. Practice 2, Vettel did 41 laps, which was better, and Ricciardo 36, I believe. So whether it remains that they've got decent reliability, I mean, those amount of laps do equal 58 laps, apart from Vettel's amount of laps, but whether that's because they cool the engine down in the garage for a few hours before practice 2 remains to be seen. So really the big question is, do Red Bull have some pace with the new regulation changes, or have their streak of winning titles ended? The big surprise, obviously, well, it wasn't really much of a surprise. Lotus are still struggling. Grosjean pushing his car to the edge, but couldn't get anything out. He was 6 seconds off the pace in the first practice session. Practice 2, though. But really, Maldonado did not set any times in the first 2 practice sessions. Reasons we are not aware at this time. So it looks like Lotus are going to be off pace, and they'd be lucky if they manage to get into Q2 by the looks of it, because their pace has been shocking. And it remains to see what Red Bull can deliver. I mean, they've had some massive problems in winter testing. Whether they've resolved them or not remains to be seen. But even if they have resolved them, they are still nearly a second off the pace from the Mercedesers. In practice 1, the pace was set by Fernando Alonso ahead of Jenson Button. Lewis Hamilton broke down in practice 1, but luckily Mercedes were able to get it going so he could run again in practice 2 and gain some track time out of it. So Fernando was quickest in practice 1, and then in practice 2 we have Lewis Hamilton ahead of his teammate Nico Rosberg, with Fernando Alonso 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, and Jenson Button 5th. So the McLaren of Jenson does seem to have pace, but Kevin Magnussen has not showed that yet, so whether he has pace remains to be seen. So what do I think will happen? Well, in qualifying, I believe it will be Lewis Hamilton. I believe he has the pace to take the pole position. And again in the race, I still think it will be Lewis Hamilton. My mind still thinks that Lewis Hamilton, I want him to win the title, and I think that this weekend it will be, the Mercedes does have the pace around this track, so I believe that Lewis will win the race. He shows more pace than Nico this weekend. So if I wanted to put my money on, I believe Lewis Hamilton will win. And then in second, I'd say it's between Nico Rosberg and Fernando Alonso. 4th place depends really. I believe it's going to be between Massa, Bottas, Vettel and Button. And then we'll just see. But we're yet to see what Magnussen and Raikkonen can do at the moment, because we haven't seen what their pace is like, and we haven't seen what Ricciardo's like. And it remains to see whether Red Bull's gremlins have been sorted. But we really don't know. 58 laps with these turbos, which can only do about 40 laps, meaning that they're going to have to preserve. Apparently, they can do 4 laps anyway. I mean, that they're going to preserve the engine, the fuel, and the tyres. It's going to be tricky for everybody. But at the moment, it seems that the Mercedes engine is the one to have, and at the moment, the Mercedes Works team is the favourite to win. Force India had a good winter testing, but they're not showing it at the moment. So whether they weren't pushing remains to be seen. I know Nico Hulkenberg beached his car in practice too, but who knows really? We just need to find out on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, my money, Lewis will win this weekend's race. So yeah, guys, that's my preview of the Australian Grand Prix. So thank you very much for watching, and see you next week for the Malaysian Grand Prix preview. After this video, you should expect the WRL to be up. I'm actually editing it right now. So thank you very much for watching. I've been GFanman21, and I'm out. See ya.